if I were to cancel a platinum card, like if it just didn't exist or I just didn't want it anymore, what would I do?
American Express Platinum card is definitely going to get a revamp because I know, especially sometimes we talk, sometimes you do have actual trouble using all the credits on the Platinum. It's hard to manage. I mean,
It's true.
you have you're signing up for this, you're signing up for that. Is it worth the hassle?
I think what it really comes down to with the platinum card, the one thing that's been holding me on, I cannot believe, I actually cannot believe what we just did. I really cannot. The concierge for American Express is way worse than I actually ever imagined it would be. And I freaking talk about it all the time on YouTube. Like
Right?
it's the best thing in the world. And all of a sudden, everyone else is somehow maybe doing better. I don't know.
Yeah, you always expect that white glove service with American Express Platinum.
Yeah.
Now what? Now after that experience, what do you think about the American Express Platinum?
I don't know. I really don't know because God, so I really don't know because like the platinum card for me has always been some sort of a semblance of luxury to a degree.
Yeah.
I don't know. You pay the $700. Yeah, it's really expensive, but I don't know. I like having the idea of having FHR. I like having the idea of, you know, having some of these credits. Like, oh, maybe if you can use the airline credits, or maybe you can use Uber Eats. But and having that concierge service was like really a big reason to be to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
we've talked about it off camera and stuff, and it's like, oh, they helped me get dinner reservations for Valentine's Day, and it was like pretty valuable for that. And then finding out that literally like recently they aren't doing any of those things anymore apparently is really leads me to think like if I were to cancel a platinum card, like if it
Yeah.
just didn't exist or I just didn't want it anymore, what would I do? What card would I get? And you were thinking
Yeah.
about that as well,
Yeah.
right?
Probably. I mean, the Platinum card, the credits are just really hard to use, and I feel like after the revamp, because we know the American Express Platinum card is definitely going to get a revamp.
Yeah.
After the revamp, I could see them adding even more credits, and then it's just harder to justify putting that much effort into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And you were thinking like, oh, if you were gonna have a replacement to the
Yeah.
platinum, you were saying something like Delta cards, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about actually really similar, and it's actually really similar price,
Hmm.
is the Delta Reserve.
It's true.
Especially with that new card design right now. It's not as good as the black one,
I
but it's still pretty cool.
I think the black one's way better. I'm
Oh
still waiting
yeah.
for Stan to. I want to buy his
Oh my god.
his Delta Reserve when it came out like a year ago.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it makes sense though because I remember I did a video recently talking about the platinum card and like a
Mm.
platinum and a gold versus a Delta Reserve and a Delta Platinum.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if you're flying Delta, that companion pass is like 4 or 5 of the Amex Platinum's credits all in one,
Yeah. You just
and
need to
it's just
use
something
that
you could
one.
use. Yeah,
Yeah.
something you could freaking use. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And then for me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, so maybe I don't want to pay necessarily cash for a ticket right now, a companion certificate. I was like, but what I do really love is maximizing hotels and just staying as many crazy as hotels as possible. So I was thinking like maybe the Hilton Aspire, because well, similarly to the companion certificate, that free night certificate, like CJ, freaking CJ with his
Waldorf.
small room at the Waldorf, he was able to get, I guess technically a 1,200, no, sorry, a $2,000 room
Oh wow.
with just a free night certificate for a card that has an annual fee of 550. Obviously, you're not saying, oh, that pays for the annual fee 4 times over, but
Right.
that experience was a better experience. I think he would have a better experience. I think I would have a better experience having a Hilton Aspire card, staying at a Waldorf one night a year
Mm.
versus here's
Oh,
some
just a
maybe
little.
United Travel Bank
Right.
or Delta. Here's my Saxon Fifth. Here's some Uber Eats, and then here's my FHR credit. And it's like technically you can out value all of them, in that case, and you
Yeah.
have a fun stay, and you know for sure that that's gonna maybe hopefully cover your 550 annual fee. You
Now,
know. Hmm.
now you were also thinking about the Hilton Aspire, but it also has a lot of credits that you have to try to maximize, like the resort credit. Like, how hard is it to use?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because, well, actually, funnily enough, you know what I learned?
Oh yeah.
Somebody in the Discord said, "Hey, actually, what's his name? Oh God, why am I forgetting? It's Victor. Victor in the Discord,
Mm.
Project V3. He actually booked a Hilton Grand Vacation, so he did the timeshare,
Mm.
and he said he was able to call them and tell them, "Hey, I booked a resort property." and it actually worked towards his, I guess it's $200 now biannually.
Yeah.
So he paid like $200 for this Hilton Grand Vacation, which is what we paid. We paid like
Yeah.
150, 180, something like that, and it worked towards that credit.
Oh, that's insane.
So not only is he getting like the timeshare for free with the Hilton Aspire, he's also getting value because they gave him a cruise just for
Jeez.
attending. Well, when he attends the timeshare, he's going to get the cruise.
Right.
We got like 100,000 points,
I like that better.
and I'm like, hey, part of my strategy and yours too is like, let's just do a Hilton Grand Vacation every year.
Yeah,
It's easy value. And next one, I want to do maybe Disney or something like that. That would
that
be
would be
fun,
awesome. Yeah.
right? But I also learned from Sean Lane, which I thought was interesting, and a lot of people don't see the value in it. But what he taught me was he booked, I think it was a Hilton in Cabo or something like that, and he said that you can use that $200 resort fee and prepay the incidentals at that hotel. And I think his dilemma was it was running out. It was like December and it was about to cross over to January.
Right.
But he was like, well, I just prepaid, like, in his case, because before the revamp, like $400 or whatever it was in prepaid incidentals. So this way, when he goes there, everything's
Yeah.
you just bill everything to the room and it comes off at the end. So I guess you don't even have to necessarily, oh, it has to cover a room. It could just cover a nice restaurant, like, I wonder, like, if for example, if the Waldorf was a resort property, technically, if it was resort, I could have used that $200 to pay for that Jose Andres, Michelin star restaurant. So I don't know. It just seems like the Hilton Aspire has more value add,
Yep.
possibly more value add than the Amex Platinum card. And if you really did care about concierge, the Hilton Aspire has concierge. It
You're
does.
probably gonna get the same service though.
Exactly right. Probably worse. Oh, you're only paying 550 and not 695. You're really scum.
Yeah.
Click. Just don't. They won't even answer the phone. It's
Hey, don't pretend. You know they're gonna revamp that annual fee.
eventually. Wait, which one are we talking? You talking Platinum or
The
Aspire?
Aspire.
Well, we just got it. We just had it in October. So,
Oh, well, no. Maybe they would do it again. You
oh,
don't
they
think so?
will. Oh, they
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
But I think we have at least a cool year and a half
yeah.
before we actually, have a big issue,
Yeah,
where it raises. And yours actually revamped was sooner, the Delta
yeah.
Reserve 650, so it's a little more. Um, and I think that revamped just a few months ago. Do you feel the same way? Like, do you think everything that the Reserve comes with would be better suited for you versus the Platinum?
I think so. It's kind of hard because I've been looking at both of the cards, and I think the biggest thing I would miss from the American Express Platinum
Hmm.
is the general statuses that you get, the more flexibility that you don't have to fly Delta, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't really consider that. Well, at least in your case with the Reserve, you are able to get your Delta Sky Lounges
Right.
and Centurion Lounge access.
Only when flying with Delta, though.
So it's a little more restrictive. You got to be more of a Delta lover,
Right.
which I think we are. We kind of are. So
It's the best airline.
it's the oh no, everybody United definitely it's United.
Oh no.
Don't get you started. Don't get them started. That is true. I mean, the lounges are, huh? Well, what do you think about this? Because I just made a video. Actually, it's going to go up tonight about the Amex Green Card and maybe the Lounge Buddy credit, something like that. Now I get it. Lounge Buddy, it doesn't have everything. There's restrictions and whatnot. But I was looking and it was like, okay, they have Lufthansa,
Yeah.
lounge. They had, I think I forget a few other lounge, KLM lounges. Um, but the ones specifically that most people care about, like Centurion, Delta, the bigger ones,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to gain access to. And I'm not sure if actually you can use Lounge Buddy for, I'm guessing
No.
priority passes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
whatever's in that network.
yeah, most of them are actually in the Priority Pass, so it's kind of like, are you gonna use $100 credit from the American Express Green Card, or are you just gonna have the Priority Pass, which can get you unlimited visits?
Huh.
I see that as more. I know for a lot of us, we don't travel that much, so it may be more beneficial going that route. But I just find since most cars have the Priority Pass card, just go the unlimited route, right? Just in
Yeah,
case.
that's true. So then what card would you have to have, I guess, the least amount of annual fees and the most amount of lounge access? Like, what would you
Hmm.
supplement? Because, I mean, the Platinum card really gives you a lot.
Yeah.
Friggin' Centurion, Delta, Plaza Premium, Priority Pass, Lufthansa, there's like a million different ones. What would you use to kind of replace that, you think? Because the Aspire lost Priority Pass.
Yeah,
So we
that's
don't
so
have that.
dumb. I
Freaking
can't believe that.
struggling. They're struggling. And I learned from Jacob's Points of Profit when I had the live stream with him last week that Priority Pass internationally is like
Oh yeah,
Great.
it's great.
I didn't know that.
Singapore, you got to go to the Singapore
Oh,
airport.
really?
It's awesome.
I've seen it. It's like the forest.
Yeah,
Everything
and
looks
then they
like
have that
this.
little waterfall and everything.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah. We got to go there one day for sure.
for
But
sure.
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts like what you would use for lounge access if the platinum wasn't a thing anymore?
I don't exactly remember. Think it's one of the cards. I'm not sure if it's restricted by like 10 visits or something. I think it's either the Bank of America card that's $95 or the US Bank card,
Hmm.
and they come with party pass access, and it's only $95, so that's definitely not a bad option.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I guess that's getting into the conversation of like, okay, are you domestic traveler and very often and like lounges mean something to you, or are you like JP knowledge where you just constantly are constantly going abroad? Like
right.
those priority passes could probably come more into play for that type of person. I don't know who I am yet. I think I'm still domestic for the next year. You know,
Yeah,
probably next year go abroad. It would make sense. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. It's funny because as I'm talking to you about this, I'm
yeah.
thinking in my head, I'm like, Venture X, interesting.
Oh
I was
no,
like, oh no,
you got to get the card, man.
no,
You
no,
have the
I
last
don't
name.
want it.
Oh my
I
god.
don't want an X to be right here. The Venture X. I don't want it. But
Uh,
I'm also thinking you get the Party Pass, you get the Plaza Premium, and then you have the Capital One lounges.
Capital One lounges. You got that hot. My god, how do you pronounce it? Ho-
Which
Jose Andres?
Jose Andres. Oh,
Yes.
that's right. You found that.
Yes,
What'd you?
at the Reagan National Airport,
Yeah.
so DCA, they're building out a Capital One lounge, which I didn't know about.
Hmm.
I guess I just haven't been keeping up with it, and they're partnering up with Jose Andres, and you've eaten their food, made your wife cry.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe considering.
You told me he was on the same level as Gordon Ramsay or higher.
I think he's
You
higher,
think
man.
he's higher?
I like the Gordon Ramsay fish and chips, but Jose Andres, he's like on another level.
Interesting.
Especially you try the paella. He's really
Hmm.
famous for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And I didn't realize that. So I wonder what that's going to come with if you have a partnership with the Capital One lounges with Jose Andres. Like, is he just going to throw his restaurants in there and be like, all right, pay $300? Or
That's funny.
I wonder if you get discounts
I
or
don't.
something.
So I think they're partnering with Jose Andres, so he would probably make the menu. He would teach the chefs, but
Oh.
it would be kind of like what American Express does. They partner with a chef for their Centurion Lounge, and then that's the food that they serve at their lounges.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Oh
Huh.
my God, we were talking about the Hilton Inspired. Now you're thinking about the Venture X.
I don't know, man. I'm just because like you want like I love what Cesar says, and I quote him all the time when we had the live stream together, and he was like, okay, the platinum card is your only credit card out there that can cover your entire travel experience. And that those
Yes.
words stuck with me because I was like, okay, hotel status. You got Hilton, you got Marriott. Hilton's more valuable. You know, you have all the lounge access. You have all these different lounges you can go to, which I'm starting to now explore into. You know, I like the idea of you know, maybe concierges, whatever now, but like having access to fine hotels and resorts and whatnot, and
Yeah.
just kind of covering your entire travel experience, insurances, whatever you know consider worth it insurances, even though they have crazy language in there that you know disallows most things to be covered. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things that it's like it covers everything. So without that, you need to now pick certain things from different cards for to cover yourself. Because like
Yeah.
I can't live without Hilton Gold status. It's like I just can't. I can't. Even though I'm staying a lot of Hyatts, like for the times that I stay at Hilton's, like forget it. I didn't even factor in the Hilton Gold status with the Platinum when I was evaluating it not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I was like, wait a second. I stayed in Wilmington with Hilton points. It was like 200,000, and I ate at the on site restaurant every single day, like 5 days, and I got $30 per day. And that was burgers and stuff like that. So I was like $150 that I got in value that I can definitely say for sure put it in the books. It's not just like inflated because well, I was gonna go eat at a restaurant there anyway. Like you have to eat every day
Yeah.
when you're on vacations, and I'm
Right.
not you know I'm not
And
packing
it's
my rations.
expensive.
Yeah, and those restaurants, you know, even though one of those days fine, one of those days we did go to a restaurant, it's an Italian place right on the water, and
Hmm.
and it's like $80 or $100,
Oh
something like that. So it
man.
was expensive. So call it the 4 days of restaurants that I ate the best burger in the world at the Wilmington. $120 I can deduct that against the 695 annual fee. And that I think that makes sense for me. You know, I think even though nowadays I'm staying in more Hyatts, and maybe Hilton Gold won't matter as much. You know, going forward if I keep getting more What's rewards points? You've lived without it. What?
Yeah, that's true. Now, how about the Hilton Spire though? You get diamond status.
Oh,
Diamond status,
ooh.
man. That's the top tier.
Okay, and to all the people, who I think it's like priority pass, like abroad, internationally, like
Yeah.
Diamond's gonna get you good upgrades, gonna give you good service. People say the continental breakfast is nice. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. Who knows? But I don't really in the U.S. I don't see a difference between gold and
Everyone's a
diamonds.
diamond.
Yeah, everybody's a diamond. We were just filming your video at the True.
Yeah.
And how many diamond spots were there? It was like half the parking lot.
Everyone's a diamond, man.
Everyone's a diamond. So I don't know. I guess if in a world, right, if that's the topic, like if I'm getting rid of the platinum card, yes, the Hilton Aspire would meet my needs with Hilton as well. Like getting that,
Mm.
elite, just enough to get the dining credits, I think makes the most sense, And if
Yeah.
I am going to start becoming a world traveler, uh, diamond status will make sense abroad as well. So I think that does make sense. Like, and I try to think in my mind, like how much value I could totally get out of the Hilton Aspire card. I'm like, okay, free night certificate's easy. I'll just call it $400 value.
Right.
That's easy value add. The dining credits that I get from Diamond status, I'll just call it, easy $150. That I could possibly get because you figure $30 to $50 a day depending on the property, at least 5 days a year or something like that. To me, so that already brings the annual fee to zero for me. And then you got $400 in resort credits, and you have all these other credits. So I think it would make sense.
So do you think the Aspire would ultimately be just better for you? Because I know especially sometimes we talk, sometimes you do have actual trouble using all the credits on the Platinum. It's hard to manage. I mean,
It's true.
you have to sign up for entertainment, so you got a Hulu subscription, you got Peacock, you got Sirius XM, which I think they got rid of Sirius XM actually.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
so
I think so. Yeah.
and then you're also signing up for fine hotels and resort. You're signing up for this. You're signing up for that. Is it worth the hassle?
You know what I think it comes down to, actually, as we're talking, so
Yeah.
it's perfect. I'm talking to you now because it's actually making things clear. Like, I think what it really comes down to with the platinum card, I guess outside of the status in the lounges, is the one thing that's been holding me on, and you've heard me talk about it, is the fine hotels and resorts. Having access to the
Yes.
fine hotels and resorts, I love it. I've
Yeah.
had the best stays I've ever had in my life. All came from that program. But as I'm learning and as I'm researching and talking to all these people who are way more advanced than I am, I'm learning like all these different programs. We've been
Yeah.
talking about like I think Privé is only with
Yeah.
Hyatt.
Yeah.
Hyatt Privé, okay, you can get very similar benefits to FHR, and you don't need a platinum card for that.
You,
Huh?
MasterCard actually has a fine hotels and resort kind of copy.
Oh
It's a
yes, luxury.
luxury collection or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
that's right.
and they come with the credits. They come with the benefits like checkout, I believe.
Yeah,
So, what do you think about that instead of just using the fine hotels and resort? Because you're not getting $200, you're
prepaying.
prepaying for it.
Yeah, the prepaying, man, it's such a big thing. It's so true. I think honestly, I really think that'll be the nail in the coffin. If I can experience Hilton Impresario, Hyatt Privé, Marriott Stars, uh, Virtuoso, which I don't
Yes.
know who that
I think it's
works.
just general.
Is it general? So it's general, or this Mastercard like luxury.
Yeah.
Even if for some reason down the line VentureX, I think that
Hmm.
has access, or maybe just Capital One Portal has access to their
No,
own
yeah,
luxury.
the Venture X has it. I think it's just strictly to the Venture X,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
so like I guess VentureX aside, if I just had and held an Aspire and I had access to Impresario, which I think is I don't even know who does it, but maybe it's only through travel agents. But I have to learn if you can book it like directly online. Like I think Hyatt Privé you can,
Yeah,
and
I
like
think so.
so like if all of these are available and I use them, I'm like, oh, these are like literally the same. Okay, I have an experience credit like FHR. I have maybe a breakfast credit, which most of them do. I have late checkout.
Is Fine Hotels and Resort that great?
I don't know.
Especially since they're letting a lot of hotels into Fine Hotels and Resort now, and they're not worth it. I know there's
The
this one
Pendry
yeah,
is
Pentry,
listening.
but there's this one property that I keep hearing over and over and over again
Hmm.
is the Lowe's Regency. A lot of the
Yeah,
times a lot of people complain about them. They're like, the New York one didn't give me the best customer service, didn't give me
really.
this, didn't give me that. The Savannah one, I think they were supposed to give like free breakfast credits for somebody.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Reddit post or something like that,
Huh.
and they didn't give it to them. And then they're like, yeah, we don't honor
Really?
that.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
And it's in FHR.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's either in FHR or the hotel collection.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. And especially since your experience with the Pendry, which was
Yeah,
okay, but not to the
yeah.
caliber of
Right,
any of the other FHRs we've done,
right.
over the years. I think that really, I mean, now honestly, I've been talking, it really does illuminate. I think that's the nail in the coffin, though. If I can
Mm,
try these programs and they are the same, if not better, than FHR, and I still feel the same luxurious feeling, yeah, I probably would just cancel the Platinum and just get Aspire, save 140 a year, and get
yeah,
probably easier to use credits. And even at Delta Reserve, if I start wanting to travel a little more, it could make sense,
yeah. You get access to Centurion Lounge.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Especially since you don't actually have too much access to lounges, right? You out of the whole time you've had the platinum card, you only experienced like two or three or four lounges, right?
Yeah, I mean, just that one trip, Vegas, I think it was 3 Sky Lounges, an Escape Lounge,
Yes.
2 Centurion Lounges. Two? Oh, yeah, 2 Centurion Lounge. I think, was it Detroit and Atlanta?
No.
Detroit doesn't have?
Atlanta just came
Oh,
with
right, not
theirs,
Atlanta. That was Delta. That's
but
right.
you definitely went to the Vegas one. Yes.
Vegas Centurion,
Yes.
and then Detroit Centurion.
Sky Club.
So, okay, that was Skype. Okay, yeah, and they were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
It is kind of hard to go back. I talked about it with my wife a lot.
Really?
We sometimes get layovers just to go to the lounges,
Huh.
just to have that like kind of break in between flights. It's not as long and as tiring as a flight,
Hmm.
and then you can like refresh. You can go to the bathroom. If you wanted to take a shower, you could take a shower, and usually they have pretty good food,
Hmm.
so you can fill up, and that would save you a meal.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
that's
Huh.
why I kind of stick to instead of the Aspire card. Why I want to stick to the Delta card if I
Hmm.
was to change my Platinum card into something else
Yeah.
because I will still have access to those things. It
Hmm.
is a little bit more restrictive, but I still have the option.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. It's too bad you can't just like pay for access.
Oh, right. Well, you can. What are you talking
Like
about?
if I
The
just want to,
Centurion? No, but
yeah,
the
that's
Sky
right.
Club you can.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah, I just mean like Centurion. Like if I could just walk up to a Centurion, here's my nothing. Here, here's my plastic Freedom Flex. Can I get in?
I'm flexing here, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. But I appreciate you talking with me.
Yeah.
Through this whole conversation because it's a real reality, and I think it probably will happen sooner than I imagine.
Especially if that platinum card, if that annual fee hits $1,000,
Oh my
I
god.
don't think I can justify it anymore.
No.
Even if they gave me like,
Oh
I don't know, like they'll split the credits up to bi-weekly or something.
my god. Could you imagine? Like now we're giving you $300 FHR, 100. No, we're giving you like $75 each quarter.
Yeah.
It's like wow. Thank you very much. So I don't know, but I guess let's go talk about your Delta Reserve.
All right,
Let's
man.
talk about it.
Sound good.